Hello and welcome back everyone, this is AlluraSC back at you with another Fortnite tutorial video. Now for some of you guys who might be wondering, Allura, why did you take down this south spawn video early on, which I had already posted? Now I'd just like to say a huge apology to all of you guys who were working on that particular video. Unfortunately, that particular build was a little bit of an experimental build that was freshly tried out, and as well as it works for a lot of waves, there are some particular waves where it doesn't actually work very well. So particularly the outline, it is going to be wave 15 as well as wave 25, the waves that you basically are going to be spawning in with Krampuses. So one other thing as well is that there is a very specific way to build that particular amplifier, so I will be re-releasing that particular build and that particular video in a separate series altogether. I think I will actually be trying to put together some of these videos with experimental builds and maybe naming it like, you know, the laboratory or something like that, the laboratory series or something, where we are trying out, you know, some new ideas, you know, that may not necessarily be you know, super consistent, yeah, because as some of you guys were mentioning in the comment section as well, yeah, that particular build was consistent up until the point where it wasn't. So I really do apologize, guys, and as a result I have gone ahead and taken the video off the public listing. The video still can be found, it is an unlisted video now, but I will be taking it altogether off the internet when I do make a replacement video for that particular build. So that, guys, let me just get right into this particular video. So this is going to be the southeastern or the beach amp. Yeah, and this is going to be for the south spawn. As always, we're going to be doing a quick top-down bird's eye view of how the build looks like. So very quickly, if we take a look from the point of reference from the C amplifier right there, we do have the 3-tile block off, the 3x1 tile block off right there. And as we are going ahead to take a look towards that left side over there, we do actually have a lobber shield, a little lobber shield prevention over there, as well as our funnel systems. So beyond that, you can't really see very much within the funnel systems themselves. The funnel systems in and of themselves also form as a lobber shield because they are putting a ceiling on top of the husk's head, so they're not actually able to go ahead and shoot into your base. Over that side over there as well, there's also going to be a funnel system. Once again, we can't really see it very well. So let me go ahead and hit down really quickly and show you guys how the amplifier looks like right here. So we do have our very typical block off on this amplifier. Just go ahead and put a bunch of tier 3 metal all around it, you know, with a bunch of slants, so on and so forth. Okay, so let me just go ahead and head over to where the spawn actually is. So let's see, right about here. Okay, so first point of note right here, like I was mentioning, this is where we are going to be having the lobber, this is where we have the block off for amplifier C, and using this point of reference right here, we're going to put a 2x2 area right here to block off any chances that any lobbers might actually want to try to break through your funnels and try to lob into your base. They have been known to do so. This is why we have this particular area right here. Okay, so falling down over there, you notice that this area down here has been left open. That is fine. It's because as long as the lobbers have no way to break that particular tile, they won't actually do so. Now, over here, we do actually have what I would like to call some empty box wall-offs. So these are not reinforced wall-offs, they're basically just regular wall-offs with empty insides. One empty wall-off here, one more empty wall-off right here. So 2 empty wall-offs is going to be sufficient, a 2x1 system. Okay, so let me just go ahead and reset this really quickly. Reset, okay, go ahead and reset this. Okay, there we go. So this is a little additional reinforcement on this side over here to ensure that lobbers or flingers do not actually attempt to punch through on this wall to try and fling their stuff into the base. Okay, so with that part covered quickly, guys, let me just go ahead and hit into the spawn proper now. Okay, so as you can see, there is going to be a lava rock that falls right about there. Okay, and we also do have ourselves a what do you call that, spawn. Yes, the spawn actually does spawn in from here, and we've gone ahead and placed a lot of these ceiling gas traps. Now the reason why you might notice why we're actually putting this many amount of gas traps as well, it's because this particular spawn is particularly important, the so-called UFO wave. With how annoying the UFO usually is, requiring all 4 players or all players engaged in that game to do their best to take care of it, you don't really have that many hands, you know, to actually deal with spawns coming in. So as a result, you really want to make sure that you do as much damage as possible to kill off all of these husks as soon as they come in. So some of the spawns also do come in from here, right? Some of them do come in from the bottom, and some of them do spawn in from somewhere around here as well. But either way, guys, they're all going to be coming in from this main direction over here. And as we can see, based on how we've built this, you can see right here, we have 9 gas traps right there in this particular order. 2 more off to the side over there, as well as a 2x1 setup. A 2x1 setup of this particular wall launchers this side over here. Over by this side, we also do have another 2x1 setup of wall launchers with accompanying gas traps up above. So these wall launchers over here, typically your wall launchers are going to be firing for up to 3 tiles. So that wall launcher is going to be able to shoot up to at least this tile over here. And this is the reason why we have another accompanying wall launcher with another gas trap right there. Okay, and we're going to touch on that other spawn later, but as of right now, this particular portion right here is going to send them into this outer area right here, or back down, depending on how small or how big the husks are. Depending on the size, they're going to be flying either big further or less far, shorter distance. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into the spawn path right now. So as the husks are walking up into this 2x2 ramp area right here, let's take a look and see what we have going on up above. Yes, indeed, we do have a 2x2 gas trap setup right there, a 2x2 gas trap setup. And also we do have a wall launcher right at the left side of this particular ramp right here. Okay, and off the left side over there, we also have a dart trap. And as we turn around to see what we have going on this side over here, we have gone ahead and placed these 2 walls right there. And part of the reason why we have these walls over here is to ensure that when we have our wall launchers going off, we do not actually launch the husks onto the ceilings of all of these gas traps. That will actually spell for disaster for us, because that enables the husks to walk around. You know, if it happens to be a lobber, you are in deep trouble. So you want to really make sure that these husks do not fly up above onto that ceiling area right there. So what else do we have going on this left side over here? We do have an open wall as such. The reason why we've gone ahead and opened up this particular wall over here is because I want to kind of be a little bit more what do you call that, efficient, in the sense that we are able to get double the value from the wall darts, meaning the wall dart is going to be able to start its firing sequence from within there because of this open window right here. As the husks pass through here, that wall dart is going to be able to go off and hit some of the husks already. Okay, so moving on into the main spawn right here, we do have a slowing floor spikes, gas trap up above, wall launcher. So all of these wall launchers right now, they are all 3 impact wall launchers. Okay, all of the gas traps as well as the slowing floor spikes all have the regular rolls, and so do the wall spike, wall darts, sorry. Okay, so as they are rounding around this particular corner over here, they're going to be walking across to this side, and over here onto the left side we do have a wall launcher as well as slowing floor spikes on the ground and gas traps up above. So this wall launcher is actually going to be firing them off into a 3x1 timeout room. Now, you might be wondering, Allura, why is it sometimes you use a 2-tile timeout room and sometimes a 1-tile timeout room? What is the difference? How do we know when we are able to get away with these longer or shorter timeout rooms? So, as a general rule of thumb, you want to ensure that your so-called longer rooms, are going to be coinciding with the path that the husks are already naturally going to take. So what do I mean by this? If you notice how we are firing off the husks into this timeout room over here, even though there are 3 tiles, if you notice, if the husk gets launched into this timeout room right here with the broadsides, the retractables, we have our dart traps, our gas traps and stuff like that, our standard timeout room stuff, okay? As they are getting sent inside here and they attempt to exit this timeout room, you'll notice that this straight line that I'm walking right now is exactly where they want to go. And this means that this particular timeout room is extremely safe for you to use because it is in the husk more or less natural pathing anyway. Okay, so let me go ahead and elaborate once again. The timeout room over here is a 3-tile room because we can afford to do so. We can get away with it. Okay. So as we were mentioning earlier, we do have a wall dart on this side. We're also going ahead and place a tar pit over here. Now, why do we use a tar pit? So as the husks are getting sent into the corner over here by the wall launcher, they're going to get hit by the retractables, get hit by the broadsides, and going to be shredded with some big damage. Okay, so pretty much the only things that tend to survive are going to be your smashers. Most of the other husks should be dead, or unless it is going to be a high level wave of huskies or propanes, perhaps then they might survive, but more often than not they should be dead. Anyway, if they do manage to survive, they're going to walk onto this tile over here, they're going to get stuck by this tar pit for 3 seconds, and after that they're going to be able to walk right back about here, and then hopefully this wall launcher is going to be off cooldown and you're going to be able to get your wall launch going off and send them back into the room again. However, if it is on cooldown, then they're going to be walking off this side over here, getting stuck by this particular tar pit and getting launched by this wall launcher, which sends them all the way backwards into this starting sequence right here. And yes, like you guys say, this kind of funnel systems or timeouts when it's shooting them for 3 tiles is back into the natural pathing, so they're not going to be too fast about it. Not going to be too fast about it at all. Okay. So once again, over here we do have some tar pits going on. In terms of your preference, you can always choose to rotate between tar pits and slowing floor spikes depending on how you feel you want to deal with this. I've gone ahead and put a little bit more tar pits this time at some of these more crucial areas. We want the tar pit to be able to collect a big bunch of husks over here, not a bigger bunch, but a little group of husks over here, and then the wall launcher going off is going to be able to send that group of husks off to the corner right about there. Okay, so more often than not, most of the little husks and all the trash husks should be dying very quickly to the gas traps. So the only ones that usually do survive and reach to this point over here tend to be your huskies and smashers, and those are the only ones that survive, or maybe the laser boys too. Okay, so with that guys, as we continue on to the next tile over here, we round the corner. We once again have another tar pit. This catches any of the husks that manage to get through whatever has been going on so far. And we're going to be having a wall launcher off to the left side over here. Alright, wall launcher off to the side over here. And previously, yes, in the previous video guys, this particular area right here was completely walled off. We did some full-on sandwiches guys, and I still believe it is requiring some additional research and testing. I think we have some preliminary breakthroughs for some of the people who have been testing the build, but until I can get some full confirmation on that detail, we're not going to release that particular build again. So we're taking that off the we're gonna take it off the list of videos. Okay. So once again, this wall launcher is going to be sending them off to the right side. So the husks, as they are trying to head towards the amplifier right there, as they're heading towards the amplifier right there, this wall launcher times them out, sends them away. Oh, and where are they going to be sending? You're going to be sending them across the side, 3 tiles. to that side right there. There's going to be a retractables waiting for them. There's also going to be some wall darts waiting for them as well. Okay, so as we go ahead and continue, let me just go ahead and show you guys what this little timeout area here looks like, and then we can go back into the main funnel system, because this is going to be coinciding. This little area that we're going to be showing you right now is actually going to be the middle section where both timeout rooms are going to be crisscrossing with each other. So as we have that wall launcher send the husk across to this particular portion over here, you might be wondering, oh no, Allura, how now? As a smasher or as a husk, where are they going to go? So essentially, the husk now have an option. Do they want to go back to where they came from, or do they wish to go to this right side over here? We have options, right? So if this particular left side is clogged up, then they can always go to the much less dense traffic area, which is on the right side over here. Regardless, I've gone ahead and counted out the tiles as well. If they do choose to go by the right side, it is going to be 7 tiles to reach the amplifier. And if they do choose to go from the left side, it is going to be 6 tiles from the amplifier. Well, I actually counted this particular portion over here, so maybe it's actually 7 tiles as well. So roughly 6 to 7 tiles. So within 1 tiles of difference of the husk going to be heading towards the base. Either way, whichever path the husk choose, if let's say they choose to go from the left side over here, we do have a wall launcher waiting for them, accompanied with a tar pit. If we go ahead and look up above as well, we have the coinciding gas traps. This area here has been marked with a tier 2 stone floor, so this is where we know we're going to be placing our base. So where exactly does this wall launcher send them off into? Once again, we have a 3 tile timeout room, and it's going to be sending them right into that deep area right there. Broadsides to the left and right, wall darts, retractables, gas traps, and we also have a retractable. We also have a tar pit in the middle section over there to further delay them and keep them inside these timeout rooms. You might also be asking me, Allura, why do you not have traps off to the left and right sides over here? Now, part of the reason why we do not have those is because when we have husks being flung across and into timeout rooms, like so, as they fly across, they are going to trigger these traps. However, most traps have a triggering delay, which of 1 second. So as the husks are flying across, if you put broadsides over here, if you put dynamos, if you put darts, if you put anything really, okay, these traps are going to go off. However, as they go off, the husks are not there. The husks are actually off into this little corner over here, and they're not going to get hit by that particular wall. So it's going to be a very low value trap, and as a result, we have gone ahead and just left it blank. And just go ahead and put the more consistent gas trap up above, and that should be fine. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and head back into this funnel sequence right here. We were talking about this area here. So as we look right down this opening of the cave right here, we do have more tar pits going down. Honestly, at this point, the only things that should be coming through are going to be smashers. On perhaps wave 25, you might get the odd propane or the odd what do you call that, husky, but only if these wall launchers in front have expired. If these wall launchers are working perfectly and still going good, you really shouldn't see any huskies coming here. Really no reason to, unless they are smashers, and they will probably come through here. Anyway, apart from smashers, Krampuses as well. Krampuses are doo-doo, guys. I really don't like Krampuses. They are very tough. Either way, as we go through over here, we have 3 tiles of tar traps, 2 tiles on both sides with broadsides, as you can see, and accompanying gas traps up above. We walk through this sequence right here up onto the 3rd tile. You will notice that we actually do have a wall launcher off to the right side over here. And where does this wall launcher fire the husk into? That is going to be a little timeout room off to the left over here. to try and best catch any smashers that attempt to come through over here, do some additional tickle damage to them. Well, not really tickle damage, the broadsides, the gas traps, they hit really hard, you know. So for some of the earlier waves, this might actually kill off smashers. Some of these funnel systems actually see some of the earlier waves that can actually all kill smashers as well. But for all intents and purposes, guys, if you have a full team, you know, all you really want to do for this particular south wave is just camp out with your team right here. You know, make sure to have your permissions off. You just bring out a couple of old Betsies, you know, you have a couple of guns, aim down the line over there and just start shooting at those smashers. They shouldn't really come through. Each time the smasher gets staggered, if let's say a smasher is on this tile, and if they get staggered and they stagger backwards onto this other tile over here, if they were to re-enter this tile once again, they will once again get stuck by the tar. So this is really just tons and tons of delay value right here, okay? But as always, guys, this UFO wave, if all the players are otherwise engaged, you know, you may just want to throw down a slowing field, have one player throw down a slowing field, and then have everyone just hit upstairs to aim on the UFO and take it down really quickly. Alright, so that's one of the tips I can give to you guys. Drop a slowing field before the UFO, and that's going to be able to buy you guys some precious time to keep your base smasher free. Okay? So yeah, this part over here is the amplifier itself. Not much to touch on over here. So let's just go ahead and talk about the other funnel system. Yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about the other funnel system as we head on outwards. Okay. So right about here, we do actually have a husk spawn. We do actually have a husk spawn spawning from right about this bottom area here. Yeah, and they're going to be walking up this particular edge right here. So let's just go ahead and stand across over here to give you guys a better view of how this entire system looks like. So yes, they are going to be spawning from the bottom up there, walking up that ramp. And as you can see, we are going to be placing a couple of slowing floor spikes. We have a dart trap over there, and we have a 2x2 gas traps above their heads. Okay, 2 wall launchers as well to be sending them backwards and outwards. And as they approach the third tile over there, we've gone ahead and placed a tar pit. You might also notice that some of our forward tar pits, I've gone ahead and used a weaker material. I'm not using tier 3 metal. I'm in fact using a tier 2 stone. You guys can also choose to use tier 1 metal. You guys can use tier 2 wood. It's kind of up to you. But really, the reason why we're using this so-called weaker material is for easier tar replacement. Because when we are using this kind of forward position tars, their usage is going to be used up quite quickly, right? And part of the reason for that, I mean, obviously because it's high husk density, but if you're going to be using all of these gas traps in front with slowing floor spikes as well as wall launchers, this should really help you take care of most of the little hustlings. Hustlings as well as husks, the regular ones, are going to be the main sources that will deplete your tar very quickly if you don't have these forward traps to deal with them first. So hopefully this tar pit over here is going to trap your slightly stronger husk, such as your laser boys, smashers, huskies, propanes, etc. Okay, but even if they don't, you know, we can always replace it easy. Alright, now going on to the next particular tile over here. Okay, as you can see, we have 2 more tar pits ahead of us, as well as 2 more wall launchers off to the right side as well. We look up above, we also do have the ceiling gas traps accompanying these trap systems over here. And let's move on to this next tile. This wall launcher on the right side is going to launch them off into this left funnel system over here. If you guys remember, this is going to be the 4 times wall launcher sequence, and we have the accompanying gas traps up above as well. Same thing, all of these wall launchers essentially serve to delay the husk. Some of them are going to be able to push them down below to the edge, once again resetting them essentially, or they are going to be sending them onto this edge right here. If you guys are able to afford the luxury as we have, you are going to be able to replace some of these wall launchers right here. You can choose to put a 4 times wall launcher here and a 4 times wall launcher here to get yourself that additional edge to be able to launch the husk just that bit further. So some of the other smaller husks, you know, they are going to be able to be launched. So we count 1, 2, and 3. Regularly, this is the amount of space that a wall launcher is going to be firing. If you have 3 impact, if you have 4 impact, you might just be able to tip that off the edge over here, and that's going to be good for you to be able to reset the husk fully. Okay? So if you want to, if you're able to afford it, these 2 wall launchers in the middle sections right there, you can put 4 times impact wall launcher. Alright, moving on. Let's go ahead and take a look right now over here. Once again, on to the next wall launcher. We have a tar pit at the bottom over there. Wall launcher off to the right. And we have a very simple 1 tile timeout room off to the left side over here. So very standard broadsides on both sides, retractables, darts, as well as gas trap up above. Okay. Let's move on to the next tile right now. So if we notice up above, we are looking up, this is where the stairs are. We have some ceiling gas traps put up above. This one over here may not trigger. In fact, it will not trigger for our smaller husks. However, if you have laser boys or what do you call those, blasters or smashers, as they are walking up this sequence over here, they will trigger that particular gas trap. And any husks that follow behind are going to be able to get hit by those. Okay, so this part over here is basically where we have some of the timeout rooms. Yeah, nothing too special over here. We have some walls going on up there. And we also do want to highlight that we actually do have a dart trap as well that's going to be able to fire off into this little funnel area right here and get some nice good value. Alright, so continuing on up the stairs, once again we do have more gas traps, and first off we have our first timeout room as we enter this portion right here, and it's going to send it into a 2x1 timeout room right here. Now I've also gone ahead and experimented with some deeper timeout rooms as well, and as a result of it being an experiment, I don't want to show it to you guys until such time that I feel like it's actually really good. But for now, we're going to stick with the more simple, straight flying, effective timeout rooms, okay? So one little timeout room over here, the broadsides, retractables, darts, as well as gas trap. As we are moving on to the next tile over here, as you can see, we have 3 tiles of tar traps right in front of us. But regardless, we do have this wall launcher over here, and this is going to be sending it off into this little corner right here. So instead of a timeout room, this is actually a connecting funnel. And what happens is that as the husk gets sent into this corner over here, what's going to happen is that they are going to be stuck over here, get hit by that dart trap. This wall launcher off to the right side over here is going to launch them backwards. And as we notice right here, as they get launched backwards, we have a very lovely timeout room waiting just for them. Okay, and if they do get launched into this corner over here, as you can see, this is the regular timeout, just going to be having your gas, your broadsides, your dart traps, and retractables. If they do get launched into this corner over here, once again, the husks do have a choice. Do they want to turn left or do they want to turn right? Where do they go? Either way, there's going to be lots and lots of damage for them all to go around. Okay, so as we are going to continue right here, this is where we left off. We're going to go ahead and check one more tile over here. So once again, we do have a wall launcher off to the left side over here, which sends them off to the right side timeout room once again. Very simple 2x1 timeout rooms, just easy, simple, straightforward. Alright, gas, retractables, standard. Alright, and off to this last tile over here, we do have a wall launcher. this wall launcher sends them right back. This is one of the very valuable wall launchers because this is going to send them right back to the very entrance from whence they came, having them to go through the entire funnel sequence once again. So this is a big value wall launcher. You want to make sure that this one is going to be placed right here. Okay, so we have a tar pit over here, our gas trap up above, and as we round around the corner over here, I will touch on this. Actually, now that's going to highlight there's a timeout room over here. You might be wondering, Alua, why? Why do you have this timeout room over here? What insanity is this? All right, let me explain to you very quickly. As we run around this corner over here, we will actually see that we have some additional gas traps going on. Yeah, we have a gas trap going on, we have some broadsides off the left and right as well, and we have another tar pit. Alright, moving on to the next tile over here, we have once again another tar pit, and we have a wall launcher over here. Right, and you might be wondering, this wall launcher, hey, I'm counting 3 tiles. If we're talking about 3 tiles, it only comes to this particular portion right here. Now, if you guys wanted to, you can always just use a regular 3-tile wall launcher, the 3-impact wall launcher, and you'll be fine. And you can just go ahead and close off this particular area right here. No harm, no foul, also good. Okay, but you know, because I've gone ahead and been a little bit extravagant in this particular build right here. So what we're actually using over here on this wall launcher behind us is a 4-impact wall launcher, which serves the purpose of sending them right to this very edge right here, which is going to be able to send the smashes right to this very corner right here, and that is going to be sufficient to be triggering all of these traps that you see right here, which does some pretty good damage to whittle down on that smasher, right? So like I said, that's a 4-impact wall launcher right there with a 5.6 duration cooldown. Okay, if you guys want to, you can also put some additional gas traps over here, you know, kind of up to you. But at this point, you know, if you're counting correctly, you will really have a lot of gas traps going on. Yeah, you have anywhere between like 10 to 11 or 12 gas traps in the entire funnel sequence, if you're counting straight. So yeah, this basically covers it for the inner funnel systems. This basically covers it for the inner funnel systems. Let me just go ahead and head out now onto the top side and have a little look on how things are going on up above. Okay, so over here, as we take a look right here, there's really just mostly just the funnels. Yeah, all of the things that you see over here are mostly just on the right side over here, mostly just funnels. However, there are portions which aren't actually funnels, and I'm going to highlight to you guys what exactly those are. Okay, so right about here is where we had the dart trap earlier. We also want to ensure, as you are building this area out, let me just go ahead and give you guys a better view really quickly. Right there. Okay, so if we look right here, this is basically where we have this entire area of stairs. We have an entire huge area of stairs, and what you really want to do is to ensure that you put tier 3 metal. You want to put some tier 3 metal and just fully block this entire area off. You're going to make sure that you just block off this entire area fully. Okay, one thing that I also forgot to mention as well is that there is also going to be a lava rock right on cue. There it is going to be falling right there. Okay, there's also an alternative area that it can also possibly fall as well. You want to ensure that you leave this part open as well. This little area right here and this little area right about here as well. You want to make sure you leave these areas open so that the lava rock is able to land here safely. So once again, just to take note, that entire area that has stairs, you just want to really ensure putting some good wall offs all the way, lining the entire edge all the way across. And we want to also have your additional wall offs on this side over here and connecting it to the funnel system right there. Okay, so as we are taking a look over here, this is exactly where we were starting out for the funnels. This is how it looks like. Okay, so anything else that we need to perhaps cover as well? I think there is one thing that I want to touch on really quickly. Yikes! Okay, hopefully that didn't shift the lava rock at all. Alright, so yeah, one particular area that I kind of want to highlight as well, this portion over here could be pretty dangerous depending on what level you're at and whether or not the lobbers are dying. So you will notice that this area right here is where we have our first sequence of our timeout rooms. Okay, that's where we have our first sequence of timeout rooms. I'm just going to go ahead and highlight to you guys how it looks. So we've marked the spot right there. So that area right there is going to be flinging your husk into here. Now, this area right here, if you have flingers or if you have lobbers coming in here and they survive the onslaught over here, I feel, or I actually would recommend you guys to add an additional block of right here. And why do we want to do so? Because if you don't, I have seen this particular area getting smacked, this wall getting punched, and with these tiles left open, they are going to be walking over here and they're going to be tossing and you're going to be having a bad time. Alright, so I would highly recommend, after building all of your funnel sequences, this little area right here is a 2x1 box off. Just box it off, have an ease of mind, don't worry about it. Okay, 2x1 right next to that particular area right there. Very important if you don't want to get some lobbers, you know, getting some bad stuff onto your base. Okay. And yeah, let me take a quick check as well. Is there's anything that we possibly missed out on? Base location has been already set as well. And yeah, I think that basically covers it, guys. I think that basically covers it. Once again, yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good, guys. So yeah. Let me just go ahead and say a huge thank you to all of y'all for your kind patience and understanding. I do certainly admit, you know, that I have made a mistake in my previous video, and as a result, I've gone ahead and taken that video down. And this is the new updated video. I hope you guys enjoy this particular build. This build is much more consistent. So for those of you guys who are saying consistency is power, this is it. Okay, this is what you would want to do, you know, if you want to be having a, you know, a very solid build. Obviously, if you want to reduce the amount of traps and stuff like that, you are also able to do so. Always do note that whatever builds that you guys are seeing me put out on the YouTubes over here, they are always seemingly quite overkill. And part of the reason for that is because I usually scale these videos for soloing, and not just soloing, but to give you guys the easiest or as easy a experience as possible while playing this particular game mode as well. Okay, so as of right now, some of you guys might also know we do actually have a no floor launcher challenge going on as well. I will cover that in our next video as to when and where I'll actually show you guys, you know, about the floor launchers. But honestly speaking, with this particular amplifier, there is very limited areas that you can actually use the floor launchers effectively, and as a result, I felt like it was just much more consistent for us to be using all of these regular tar traps within the funnel systems themselves. If I were to just throw in a little nugget of additional bonus information, maybe the places that I would maybe consider putting some of these 5x floor launchers would be right here, 1, right about here as well, 2, and that's basically it. That's basically it. Maybe one more over here, but honestly speaking, it's not really needed. Yeah, with the funnel systems that we have going on over here, you can just hang pretty inside your funnels over here. Just go ahead and shoot off at your husk that incoming, and you should be good to go. All right, so that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. All right, take care, guys, and bye bye.